And I told the guy, I says, well, when I lose interest, I change up. I challenge myself. If I lose interest in an airplane, I quit building on it. I just put it aside. I'll start a whole nother airplane because I'll try to challenge myself to do something I don't do normally. Do something off the wall, something completely different. Maybe build one from scratch. But yeah, challenge yourself. Challenge your brain. Challenge your intellect. Do something that is completely off the wall out of your normal rigmarole that you go through. And I find that helps get you out of that rut because then you're sort of excited, Say you draw your own set of plans up, and then you say, "Man, this looks cool. This is really a neat airplane." You get to building it, and you're keyed up.
And you go, "Oh shit, this was not a good idea."
Well, but you learn. That's how you learn too. You got to challenge yourself.
This one's mine.
Well, I got mine in my pocket. But yeah, you got to challenge yourself. Or step away from it completely and go do something else. Go ride dirt bikes. Go on vacation. Like the guy said, go on vacation for a week or two. Well, yeah, most people can't do that.
5 watchers, 3 thumbs up. Welcome to the program today. Even though it's 200% humidity, we're going to paint white. It's raining.
Yeah.
But I brought retarder with me, and
doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference as long as we.
As long as you're not shooting clear.
Yeah, clear would be a disaster. So, now I've been asked several times how I'm going to paint this cockpit because it has an open canopy. And I've tried to answer, but it's hard because I don't know. So we discussed this morning what would be the best plan of action. You got any cotton balls?
I might not have any down here, but I can get some.
So what we decided is I'm going to take some tape and cut it to windshield specs or whatever. And then we're going to stuff it full of cotton and tape it again. And we shall see how that works. I wonder if I take my phone. Let's try that. Yeah, I know. It keeps sending me messengers, verifications. If I go to YouTube Studio, I might get to be able to watch the chat log on my other phone because I'm shooting with a LG, and then I'll use my other phone to watch the chat. Hi guys, Jack. Hi Jack. Oh boy, I didn't want that. Let's see here. YouTube Studio. Stunt hanger. That's me. Want to view more. Videos, comments, analytics. So we'll go to videos. Live show. I'm not sure this is maybe it's. Let's go to YouTube and see if I can find it. Because I'd like to be able to. Here we go. Saturday John's 5 watching live. Let's go on here.
Attention. Attention homeowners, can we use your home to
And I don't
showcase
wanna
our
hear
next
this
generation
nonsense.
metal roofing system? Watch this important message.
Skip ads. Okay, well, I can see the video. And it's almost in real time. I want to be able to see the chat. Man, this is really close to real time.
Is it no delay?
Huh?
No delay?
But how can I see the chat? Well, I got comments. Oh, live chat. There we go. There we go. Okay, guys, I can now see the chat on my phone. Okay, Craig says keep the phone in portrait to see the chat. Thank you, Craig. Hey, Craig, send me a private message on Stunt Hanger for my address. Well, which is the same address as last time. What are we doing here?
I thought you might want to put that tape on there and cut it to size.
That'd be a good idea.
Clean that all off.
Might be a good idea. Let's see if we got any. Good Luck in the Painting by Robert Willie. Okay, Ramsey, hello from Recenser, Indiana. Keep the phone in portrait to see the chat. Well, we got her now.
Okay.
You got a machinist scale?
Brand new X-Acto knife.
6-inch machinist rule. That's good. That's good.
Well, it might be. Some of these are better than the others.
That's good.
That's the one. Should have 3 of them.
So I need it to be 1 3/16 wide at the top and about 9/16 at the bottom. I need a pencil or pen. So we got 9/16 at the bottom. What did I say at the top? 1 3/16. And how long? Two and 5/16 long. I don't know if this is going to work or not, guys. You know, everything's an experiment. Two and we'll make it 2 and 5/16 long. 2 5/16 long. Inch and 3/16 wide. inch and 3/16. 1 and 3/16.
Doesn't have to be exactly right. As long as you get it down in there good.
Which is not going to. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get in there.
Probably. It's gonna curl up and all that. So take a popsicle stick. Let's get up in there. Fit right up in there. A piece of tape. This old fashioned. Make a little roll.
Now I'm going to get it off the glass without screwing it up.
Well, it'll still lay back down. Many of them.
I should have brought some. There we go.
The very tip of it on that piece of tape.
Uh-huh. Lost its stickum.
That's because I stuck it to my shirt. I didn't want it to stick too good to it.
Good. Man, that's slicker than shit.
By golly, you didn't think I knew what the heck we was doing.
No, we don't. Uh-oh. Need another stick to bust it loose off there.
Get you that one.
There it is. Let's see. I had there it is over there. Let's see what they said. Good luck in the painting. I can't believe how much real time this is. Well, maybe the two phones are communicating with each other
Could be.
instead of going over the internet. Because we're only about maybe a second behind. Nine watchers.
All right, there's enough right there to get two more of them things out of. Where's my square?
You know, if this works, I may not even have to stuff the cotton in there so that the dashboard can get painted too. What do you think?
Yeah, it very well could.
Okay, I need a one that has they're 2 5/16 long. 2 5/16 long, and the one end is going to be a 1/4 inch, actually 3/16, and the other end is going to be but it's a strange shape. 1 and 1/8. So, let's see, pencil, because it's an oddball shape.
Yeah.
1 and 1/8, 1 1/8 inch. And what did I say was 2 and
5/16.
2 5/16 long. That's 2 1/4, 2 5/16 long. And 1/4 inch. Except that it has to lean forward like that. So we need to be I'll make it a little long, 1/8 inch longer. That should work. This was just an eyeball.
Doesn't matter. You can add a little piece back there where it's open right at the end of it. You want one for that little stick to get you back in there further?
Yeah. Good morning, Christopher Everson. He put God morning, but I know what he means.
Popsicle stick.
Popsicle stick. Huh. Oh, shoot. You know what? It's I misjudged the. It's too thick. So we'll take a little off of that. I might need a smaller stick than that, like half that. Oh, shoot. The wrong shape. Let's see. I'm gonna have to take another stab at this because it's not right.
Why don't you take a piece of paper and trace out a pattern?
I mean, it would work. That's a good idea. Let's have a piece of paper. Just add 1/8 of an inch or. Needs to be a little bit bigger than that. John's kitchen is turbocharged. We were trying to fly it this morning.
Yeah, that's what it says on the microwave, the exhaust fan. Turbo. Low, medium, high, and turbo.
I hooked the handle up to it, and I told him to screw in the needle valve, but we still didn't get it to take off.
Pretty amazing. Amazing. Barb wasn't amused at all.
Oh well. Okay. For my second trick, try this again. This will probably work a little better. So, cut this like so. Well, at least you're not watching the Discovery Channel on guys that don't know how to mold canopies. Did you ever see that, John? The guys at Boeing decided they'd build, it's on Discovery, build a Horton 229. So they built it out of plywood. To put it up, they wanted to see, the Horton 229 was the first stealth aircraft and it was designed in Germany.
Right.
So they built it out of plywood and they're going to stick it on top of a pedestal and shoot radar at it to see how good it would work. And they built it to scale. So these characters are building this airplane and they need to form a canopy. So they take this $3,000 or $4,000 piece of clear latex plastic and they put it in this oven. They got this mold buck out and they take these pliers, the first try, they take these pliers and they rip this plastic out of the oven. They got guys on each side, they got oven mitts on, and they're trying to form it down over the top of the plug. And I'm going, come on, guys, you.
I should have called the model airplane guys.
Yeah.
They figured that one out real quick. This is how you do it, boys.
It's
You
on the
vacuum
internet.
bag it. I may have seen that. Well, it's been a while. That's been out for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking, man, here's these Boeing engineers.
Yeah, you know, they're all about molds and all that stuff too, which is surprising. They got autoclaves and all that stuff, big giant ones to work with. I'm surprised. They probably put that in an autoclave to melt it.
Hey, that couldn't have been the plant where Paul Walker worked. It could not have been. Because I can't see Paul Walker letting them guys get away with that.
I wouldn't think.
Okay, let's give it another try. Nope. This is going to be more difficult than you think.
It's the only thing.
I think I'm going to need a second stick. A second guy pushing on me. I can get it into position, but I can't get it stuck down because of the angle. Unless the stick is too long.
Well, you might have to stick it back further wherever it'll go into and then work it forward. It'll go on up in there further.
Yeah, but
It's catching on this hump back here. You gotta move your stick up higher on the piece. Put it on the top of it.
on, get on there. Well, it kind of worked. I think the cotton balls are going to be necessary because at the bottom, unless I can put another piece at the bottom, maybe.
Yeah, just cut a straight piece about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch wide or 1/2 inch wide or whatever, and just make it extra long. Make it where it sticks out here past the end of the cockpit so you can move it up and down back here with your fingers.
Yeah, this is going to be tough too.
Now you're gonna have to do it left-handed.
Well, I'm trying to get this piece on the bottom. There just is no way to do this. Very easy. And then how am I going to get it out of there?
I'm glad I'm just standing on my airplane.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I got no idea how to do this.
It's patience, Robert. You lack a little patience. You need to
Yeah.
be accurate, be slower.
Do it this way.
It can be done. Yeah, it's one of them train builders or something.
Need a guy who builds ships in a bottle.
And a little.
There we go. I got it. Just had to think about it different.
Dad, you say he's holding your mouth wrong.
Yeah, I was asked probably 10 times how I'm going to do this. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Figure it out when you get there, yeah. Only way to do it is to paint all that stuff up to begin with, and then you paint all the way around the outside edge of it and complete before you paint your whole airplane, and then just tape that whole area off from the outside. And not worry about getting up in there.
Well, I did that, kind of. I just didn't put any clear in there.
I don't think you want clear in there, do you? Don't you want it to be sort of a matte, flat?
And I still got to tape the outside.
That'll be the harder one, I think. That's got to be perfect. this.
There we go. Okay, that's 2/3. Let's see if we got any more chatters. Nope. Nobody's saying I got 12 watchers, no chatters.
Not interested in watching the sand, eh?
How it's going to work is once I get this taped off, I'll end the program, take a short break. We'll go upstairs to the garage, show you how I'm going to mix the paint, and get a couple coats of clear on it, or a couple coats of white on it, maybe. So, we made this one. You bitch.
What the heck? Where is that thing?
I made this one longer so I can cut it off. And you say you want to build that airplane, but you haven't flown this style of airplane yet, because I guarantee there's going to be 10 ounces different. Doesn't matter. It's just the way they're designed.
Depends on how I build it then.
You're going to have to leave out 50% of the wood.
Oh, that's possible.
Yeah, I'm going to have to turn this around so I can see from this side. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing or what, but pretty difficult to show on video the problems that I'm having. Let's see, we need to go at the top. Well, now I got it figured out how to do it. That one went right in there. You lay it down and stick it in there and then just fold it up.
Fold it up. Yeah.
Well, I know next time. Yeah, that went easy. Yeah. Okay. Now, I need to tape the outside. Look in there. I don't think I'm going to use cotton balls. I think it's taped off good enough that I can just shoot right in there. What do you think?
I'd be adding a little strip down the edges where both vertical and horizontal surfaces touch each other.
Why? You mean this side and this side?
Yeah, on the inside, run, down in this 90-degree angle, just in case they're not really sealed in that inside corner.
Well, you got to remember too, I'm not going to be, it's just going to be.
Yeah, I know, but you know how that stuff, you know how paint is.
Unfortunately, yes, I do. Okay, that's. So we need to fold this in half. Stick it in like so. I bet it'll take just as long to unmask this as it does to mask it.
Probably will.
And then I'll have to get in there with a Q-tip and alcohol and
Yeah.
clean off the glue. And the bad thing is the minute that I paint this today, I gotta take this out because you can't leave tape set for a week.
Yep. Well, I've done it, but
Not good.
not good. You're taking a big chance.
Are you out of town next weekend?
Yeah, probably. My kids haven't gotten a hold of me. I'm supposed to talk to my daughter tomorrow. One of them, anyway. The other one I keep trying to get a hold of. I've been trying for a week. We keep playing phone tag with each other, and I guarantee you it'll be 3 different dates. Or if not 4. One for each of my daughters and one for Bob and Marcy, Barb's son and wife, kids. Always is.
It's a 4-day weekend for me next weekend.
For divorced parents, Ain't in a butt. And it's not just me and their mother that's divorced, their husbands' parents are divorced too. So that just makes that many more different places that get thrown in, and everybody's fighting for Thanksgiving Day. Big hassle. I've always just said, well, we'll do it whenever. But every now and then I'd like for somebody to give in and say, well, you guys can have it for Thanksgiving Day for a change, They'll give you that line. Well, it's tradition. Well, it was tradition for my family too at one time or another.
Damn.
Enough of that crap.
You got a scalpel?
Yeah, probably. I got 2 or 3 of them.
Do we need to get some more scalpel blades?
No. Need milling bits. Need reamers. Need boring bars.
Okay,
DRO.
that ain't happening.
Rotary table.
That might happen.
That's about $350.
Now, how am I gonna get that out of there?
There's hemostats over there.
No, that would never do it.
There's a little teeny pair.
That would never do it. How's that gonna pick up a piece of tape off the back, way back there? Did I get it? Nope. Yeah, I got it off the paint. Got it. Unbelievable. Now it's stuck in the middle of the dashboard. There it is. Look, you think hemostats would have picked that up back there?
Yeah.
No
I got
way.
a real little teeny pair. They come to a pretty fine point.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna even worry about stuffing cotton in there. I'll just take my chances. Nothing else, I'll just paint it black. Hey, you're sanding over my shoulder.
A little bit of primer never hurt anybody.
Let's see, anybody say anything?
They said, look at John, Santa never Sparky said.
What height flap horn and ratios do you guys use? Also the bell crank size. Well, I personally use 4-inch bell cranks,
1.25
an 1.25 horns, and a 1-inch elevator horn. So it's 3/4 inch actually. So if you take a 4-inch horn and from the pivot you mark 3/4 inch, that's pretty fast, or 13 sixteenths or 3/4. The closer you move it to the pivot, the slower it gets on the bell crank. And then 1.25 horn is 1.125 at the top from the center line to that, and then 3/4 to the on the elevator is 3/4 from the center line to the pivot point. That gives you 1-to-1. So if you use a 4-inch handle with a 4-inch bell crank, and that ratio for every bit that you move your hand, yeah, there it
Got a
is.
whole system right here,
Yeah,
right out in the open.
show 'em.
If you can see this, let me get a piece of white paper and we'll put it on a white background. That way you'll be able to see it.
You have to kind of be standing right here to get a, right here, John, to get a good view of what's going on. If you put it right here, I can move the airplane. Put it right here, I'll move the camera. It's an educational time, guys. So let's move this down. John's going to give you, come on, a rendition on bell crank and drilling and so on and so forth. If you stand on this side here, John, and show them right there. Let me move this around this way. Come on. The problem is this cord is not long enough. Well,
Where's the extension cord hanging right down there?
okay. Yeah, that was good. I need my gaffer's tape is what I need. Give me that blue tape. We'll tape this right to that. And blue tape's about as sticky as gaffer's tape, meaning 0.
Doesn't have much sticking to it.
Okay, now, yep, they can see and hear you right from there.
Okay, we're going to start off here, I guess, sort of see the layout here. It's actually a carbon fiber bell crank and carbon fiber push rod and ball links, your standard stunt setup, bell crank on a post pivot. It's a 4-inch bell crank and measures about 4.5 overall, but the center line of the wires, your lead out wires, is 4 inches from end to end. Then, so that's your typical 4-inch bell crank. It could be set up like this, conventional bell crank, or it could be set up like this, which would be what they call a reverse bell crank. Makes your front line your up line. We can set up either way. We'll set it up normal here. The distance from the center of this pivot point to the center of this ball link is normally 3/4 to 13/16 of an inch. And this one's set up right here for 13/16 of an inch. That's pretty much standard for a 60 size stunt plane. Then of course your carbon fiber bell crank coming back here to the flap horn. Of course, this distance is per airplane. It varies whatever the core to your wing is, wherever you locate your bell crank is how long your push rod's going to be. And you got your typical 1/8 inch control horn here with bushes on each side of it. And we're going to sit here, and from the center line of the wire to this top is nominally 1.25 inches.
That's 1.5 inches.
This one here is 1.5 inches, happens to be 1.5 inch one, which they're either one's okay. 1.25 inches, you'll get a little bit slower controls, or I should say faster controls, because it moves further faster. The longer the arm, the slower the controls go. This is like out of a Strega type.
Lumber wagon.
And then 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch for this, depending on your elevator horn. Now your elevator horn, this bottom wire here goes to your elevator. Whatever this is, it's the same on your elevator. So if you're at 3/4 here, you go 3/4 on your elevator. So, I mean, it's just pretty.
That's 1-to-1. Now,
if you got adjustable elevator now, you can change that ratio.
so if you build light airplanes, you can take and move the pivot on the control horn up, speeding up the elevators and slowing down the flaps. You need less flap for a lighter airplane.
Right. So in essence, instead of being 3/4 of an inch from the pivot point to the center of your control horn, or to your bell crank, carbon fiber push rod, you can go anywhere from 3/4 to 1/2, 3/8, By 3/8 is probably a little bit close, but you can even go out to 1 inch. You can even slow it down.
You don't want to do that though.
But, yeah, then you start getting, if you go the opposite way, you start running into all sorts of different problems.
If you look at this airplane, I don't know whether you can see this on video, but watch how much quicker my elevator moves than the flaps. I have less flap than elevator.
You got a very light airplane, and that means it's not going to stall. Got a heavy airplane, you can need a lot of flap.
So I would suggest most of you guys that are watching these build projects of mine are not in the upper echelon of stuff. Well, maybe, I mean, Jim Lynch does watch and he learns something new every day. Anyway, I would suggest staying at 1-to-1. So if you got 3/4 distance from the horn to the bottom hole on the flap, go 3/4 inch to the elevator horn, unless you're going to make it adjustable.
I think most of your modern airplanes, your big stunners, are going to be pretty much 1-to-1 most of the time. When you get back into your vintage airplanes, your Cobras and Aries and those kind of airplanes, then you're going to start seeing where if you got a super, super light one, say a 30-ounce airplane, you don't want a lot of flap. You'll just stall the heck out of it. So that's where you're changing your control ratios off of 1-to-1 comes in handy. And just remember this right here, that this distance right here doesn't change your 1-to-1 ratio. This just stays the same constant. What changes your ratios are your elevator push
Hand me the
rod.
scalpel. Thank you.
The distance from the center of your wire to the center of your ball link on your elevator push rod at both ends. That's where you change your ratios, whether it's 1-to-1 or whatever. Even the flap horn doesn't mean a lot because everything's based off the push rod going to the elevator.
The reason they went to 4-inch bell cranks and 1.5-inch horns was to move the weight of the engine. Billy called it oversteer or
Power. It's power steering. The bigger the bell crank, the easier it is to move your wrist. The power steering, 3-inch bell crank, you got to move.
I can set a 3-inch bell crank up exactly the same ratio as a 4-inch.
Well, it'll be the same ratio.
I mean,
1-to-1.
you won't be able to tell the difference.
Uh,
I used a lot of 3-inch stuff.
and that's what everything was made with years ago. But 4-inch, I think, is just more standard. Actually, you can go. There's guys using 5 and 6-inch bell cranks. That circular bell cranks. I mean, that subject can be run over and over and over again.
There's Jim Lynch. It's Jim Lynch. How you doing, buddy?
Hello there, young man. Good morning to you.
Good morning. We're online. Are you watching us?
Well, I watch you all the time, and I'm watching John demonstrate the bell crank in the horn system.
Yes, sir.
He is dead on. He is exactly right in what he's saying.
Yep. You're broadcasting this live over the internet.
Oh, my. Okay. Well, I just wanted to call, touch base with you guys, tell you how much I enjoy your program, and there's always something to be learned in what you guys say. So keep up the good work. It's fun to watch, and I'll go back to let you do what you're doing. And thanks again for all of your work and your effort. It's certainly appreciated.
No problem, Jim. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jim.
You got it, bud. Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Jim Lynch, live.
Yeah, there you have it.
Very nice.
There you have it from one of the finest finishers in the business.
Yep, great flyer, great finisher, great. He's a well-rounded modeler. So now we've done our control system sort of layout. It's really not rocket science. This is out there 1,000 times over. So you guys can, see it what it is. I always come back to these videos to look up the video and play through it again if you get lost on it.
That was nice of Jim to call in.
Very much. Like feedback like that. That's great feedback. Love it.
So there are some people out there who are watching this that actually do know what they're doing. You're not going to find a better finisher than Jim Lynch. That, he was the appearance judge at the Nats for years. Him and Charlie Reeves. And the year that I did appearance, he was my helper. We did 60 airplanes in an hour and had no complaints. Instead of the old way where we were in the 180 building for hours.
Yeah, they
Okay. That don't sound good. What's going on there?
I don't know what the heck. The lines get crossed up inside there.
Back line should be the up line.
It's in back, but that doesn't mean they didn't get. This can't happen to you. Guaranteed. Well, it depends on if you got a reverse bell crank or not.
Yeah.
Push line.
You see, back in the day, we're giving out information that back in the day, you play hell to get. I mean, nobody told you shit.
Yep, that's very true. These aren't twisted up. And not anymore.
It was suggested by one of the guys on the chat to use WD-40 to get the glue off. I knew this, but thank you for the tip.
Yeah, WD-40, Gugon,
Lighter fluid.
lighter fluid, which is just naphtha.
I need a new blade. Number 11. The scalpels come from, I buy them from Amazon. They're what, about $6? You get 100 blades plus a handle, number 11s. They're really good, super sharp. You can't put any pressure on them. They will snap.
Yeah, they will.
And of course, if you have to do an operation on yourself, which I do all the time, they're good for that. They're sterile. Yeah, thank you very much, Jim, for calling into the program. Right now, in this model building part is probably the most critical when things could screw up, and it's best they happen now than when the clear's on it. But this is the time that problems seem to happen to me. Like take the scalpel and stick a hole through the wing.
Oh yeah, things that get bumped in the night. But you gotta realize too, this is when your plane's actually its strongest right now. It's not as strong as it's gonna ever get.
Now this is Japanese tissue, and on the wings is double aught silk span, free flight stuff, super light. But what makes this strong is not the paper, it's the dope.
The plastic that you're putting on it.
Because you're basically turning the airplane into a plastic model after you dope it. And that's why the heaviest single thing next to the engine is the paint. And in order to build light airplanes, you can't paint them. I agree totally with Jim. You have a wealth of information to pass on with the modelers. Thanks again for your videos. You guys are more than welcome, Gary. Like, subscribe, share, super chats help. Now, I know that times are tough or whatever, but what you got to understand is anytime I get a super chat or a like or a subscribe or a new member, it moves us up higher in the rankings, and I'd like to be as high as possible. What that gets you is suggested video placing, meaning that when you're cruising along on YouTube, on the right hand side, videos pop up that they suggest to you to watch. Well, our suggestion ratio is way down because first off, there aren't many modelers, control line guys in the world. I think there's only probably 5,000, and they're all on Stunt Hanger. And, in the whole world. So we're a small group, but I would like to raise the ranking of the channel so that maybe we can, incite some kids, to partake in control line flying. There's a different feel between RC. Well, RC is not really a feel because you can't feel nothing. You have a handle on the airplane.
Direct connection.
Yeah, direct connection. That's what I was looking for.
Yes, sir. Direct connection. Let's see here.
And the exhilaration of knowing that your year's worth of work can be lost in a millisecond. If you make, best thing you can say, if you make a decision, stick to it. Don't change your mind. Because in that amount of time, the airplane's lost.
Yeah. Change your mind and it's gone.
I proved that at Brodak during my voodoo years.
Now I know I made some of them. What'd I do with them? Where'd I put them at? I don't want to have to remake them.
What?
My
Huh?
doors, my door covers.
They're out in the garage, aren't they?
Are they out there?
I don't know.
Very well could be. I mean, that's where the painting gets done there.
I've seen them, so I know you made them. I don't like it. Damn. Gotta redo it. Double tape.
Yeah, they got to be out here. I think I'm going to finish that Cobra up too.
Might as well.
I mean, it's 3/4 the way built.
I've been thinking about building an I-beam, a big I-beam airplane. You know, a 60-inch wingspan I-beam.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to be able to do it, but I think I can do it.
I think you can do it too. It's all in the spar.
Well, because I sew everything, Kevlar thread, we can build a carbon spar.
I think you got to worry about. I think you might have to use medium weight silk, and that's the biggest thing, because your covering is all your strength. Outside of your spar, your covering is all your twist resistance and all that. I don't know with that kind of wing if you could go with Jap tissue on it.
I told Billy when I saw him in Cincinnati that I want to build an I-beam wing with a D-tube leading edge. And he said, well, why do that? Just build a D-tube. Well, he didn't quite grasp it. And then I explained it. He said, yeah, that is a good idea. What I want to do is build an I-beam wing with our,
Molded leading.
molding leading edge, but only 1 inch. You know what I mean? So there's none of that sanding, because that's where all the screw ups come for the look of an I-beam. So you're going to have a 1 inch molded leading edge, 16th inch ribs with 3/16 cap strips on all the ribs, so that everything fits perfect, keyed in.
So you're talking about just the molded leading edge only gonna come back here an inch.
Exactly.
An inch on each side.
Exactly. The trailing edge.
It'll look like a solid wood leading edge then.
Right, like a voodoo leading edge, but it'd be actually foam molded. And the same with the trailing edge, because that's where a lot of the problem arises, on the trailing edge for the flex. But if you have a triangle box or D-tube trailing edge with piece of foam in it, you're going to lose a little bit on the weight. But you're trying to build a 60-inch wingspan I-beam, you got to have some rigidity. And in order to do that, the D is the strongest, and I think that triangle piece would work too. And it would look super cool.
I think Les Bird built like a little, well, not super little, it's probably 42 or so, maybe inch wingspan airplane that was sort of a I-beam combat plane like thing, and it had no cap strips on it or anything like that. I mean, it was like a true I-beam wing. Or yeah, it did have cap strips. It was built like an I-beam wing with no leading edge, and you just had the spar. Is that how it was? And you just had the spar going down there, like an I-beam, and then it had cap strips that ran all the way around the leading edge, back to the trailing edge. Really an innovative thing. It flew pretty good. I don't know. Can't remember exactly how I did the leading edge. I know you had little cap
Why
strips
can I
and it looked
not
like
get
it went
that
real
right?
far.
I cannot get that angle up there right for some reason.
You need to set that in the jig to where it holds that thing up there
No,
vertically.
no, I'm trying to. You know how if you tape and then retape the windows, the tape line keeps moving back, moving back. It's all in the matter of what I'm doing here. I'm missing the mark for some reason. So it's right there.
Where did you shine the light in there?
Can't see nothing. 2 layers of tape. It's right there. I got it this time.
Oh, now.
Yeah, kind of. I got it this time.
Harbor Freight's good for some things.
Yeah, free.
Free little flashlights. They actually work pretty good. You can replace the batteries in.
I got 2 of them.
I pick them up every time you get them for free, and I'm going there. I try to get one. Snatch it up and throw it in a drawer somewhere.
I think I'm going to retape that line on top. I'm having a problem making a perfectly straight line, so I'll put another piece of tape on top. Perfect. This part of the process really seems boring or whatever, and it is, but it's pretty important. If you make a mistake here, the whole model is kind of shot.
I can tell you one thing though, is that the only gray that's on this airplane, that's the only primer that's on it. There's not any primer anywhere else on the airplane, ever. Same with this airplane, there is no primer on it.
And I only did that because I'm in that teeny apartment. And it's pretty handy to just step outside the door and hold it up, and that's it.
Did you come up missing a 440 screw?
No, it's in the
I had one laying here.
yeah, it's right here.
Oh, you're using it?
Yeah.
Okay, then there was one laying here and I wondered, well, did I leave one out on my airplane somewhere? That was the other day. I wanted to show you what I did here. See how much nicer this is.
Yeah. See how nice this is?
I could say something, but I won't.
You're more than welcome to say it. It don't matter. It's nice.
This is this now. It was nice to begin with. I don't know what happened to it, but anyway, it happened nevertheless. I took and made a saw cut down here on this fall cut from there all the way down into here on each side. Put epoxy in it, squeezed it together, and then put a little bit of glass cloth on each side of it.
Doesn't need that.
Let it dry. And squeeze that in there a little bit. I don't know what spread, how this spread, or this spread, or whatever, but these were all sanded as one piece. You know, in other words, they were put together, bolted down, and sanded as one piece. But then I painted it and did all the finished work, and all of a sudden this fuselage is a lot wider.
Well, the dope.
So it had to spread out.
The dope softened it up, and
Well, you wouldn't think. I mean, I already had it all coated on the inside with epoxy and all that stuff. I need to take a round off those. Sand the inside. I need to sand the inside of this some more. It's almost there, but not quite.
yeah, I guess I'll ink around that to make it perfect. Okay, so we've been on now 1 hour and 17 minutes. That's how long it took to tape that off. It's hard to have enough planes when you are learning the pattern. If you're learning the pattern, my best advice is just to get a beater, like a Ringmaster, Flight Streak, whatever.
A foam wing combat plane.
Yeah, some combat plane, whatever.
Cartier's got one called the Rugged Stunt Trainer. Excellent for learning.
Go out there and beat the ground.
Then when you get to that point that you think you've starting to get things down, somebody that'll coach you.
Yeah.
Somebody to tell you what you're doing and what you're not doing.
Well,
It don't matter what your skill level is, everybody can use a coach.
did you watch your flights on those?
Yes, I did. I watched every one of them. And boy, oh boy, it shows you just how big the radius of all the square corners are for everybody. Like 15-foot radiuses even on the tightest corners. So, I mean, these planes, we could make them turn faster, but this seems to be the norm right now.
A lot of potatoes.
In real life, it looks smaller than what it is.
Yeah.
When you see it on that video, you see just really how big it actually is. But it happens so fast, live that.
Square loops look like round loops with 4 lumps on them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the triangles look like kumquats.
Yeah, they're sort of weird looking. They don't really look like a triangle, not like but what the rule book calls for.
I haven't seen anybody on those videos do an hourglass that doesn't look like anything but a lazy 8 upright.
Yeah, upright, lazy 8, yeah. Exactly. It's pretty amazing. It really is. It's pretty doggone amazing.
Okay, let me have the ball driver. I'm gonna take my wheels off.
What are those, 440?
Yeah, 332nd ball driver. You got your motor plate down here? Mounting plate for the stand?
I got my mounting plate. Didn't you make one for yours?
No. I cut it, but I didn't drill it.
Why did you do that for?
I don't know. I figured John had one.
Well, it's in my airplane. This is for a PA 75 though.
Same thing.
Same whole pattern.
Yeah.
I'll make me take my calendar off. Undo my airplane. I thought you made one. I bet you there's one sitting out there in the paint shop on the workbench.
I got the square cut, I just don't have the holes drilled.
These are my actual motor mount screws that I'm using.
Yeah.
You have your actual motor screws that you're using.
I don't have any screws. That whole setup should work.
Those are slots in that plate, or they should be big and wide slots. And that thing weighs a ton.
Uh-huh.
What you gonna do about
Nothing, Jim won't see it.
that? Come on, Jim. Here it is. You know ahead of time.
Now I'm gonna mix up a quart of paint, but just because I have a quart doesn't mean I have to use a quart.
It'll probably take. That's thin to paint. That's not unthin.
Right.
That's probably got 60% thinner in it.
1 pint, it'll be 1 pint of paint, but you try to use less. I'll take the wheels off of these.
Take all the gray stuff and he'll put a coat over everything that's gray. Let it dry. Just to get the gray and green covered.
I might spritz that green with gray. Yeah, of course, I don't know. The white will probably cover it. These turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Remember what we said about these wheel collars? Use a 440 cap screw in it. I'm going to cut that off so that it's not much sticking out of there. But it's a whole lot better than them stupid little Allen bolts.
Little set screws.
Them set screws, you can't, they strip like crazy.
I said I had some.
I need to get that tail wheel off too. Don't want to screw up my.
Yeah, that $1,000 tail wheel.
My custom tail wheel.
Lightweight racing.
Yeah.
The where was it going with that? I had some. I can't remember who it was that I got them from. I think it was. Who was that went out of business? It sold the micro.
Williams Brothers?
No, the fastener company that went out of business. Who was it? Rocket City.
Oh, yeah.
Rocket City. I had these set screws from Rocket City that were stainless steel, and on the end of them they had knurling, like on the very tip of them. And I'll tell you what, they worked pretty good. And also, when I was racing RC cars, what I found is if we went to RC car park and bought they have a lot of these manufactured Allen wrenches that are, I don't know if you can see that or not. They come with custom handles and they have this machined end. And these are hardened Allen wrenches. They're very precisely ground. And if you use these on your wheel collars and you stuff like that, you won't be stripping out Allen wrenches like using one of these junk little sets like this. This kind of Allen wrench is 100% better than these are, like any day of the week. You get you a set of these and they'll pay for themselves. They come in metric and SAE. But they'll pay dividends. You can get them pretty cheap on Hobby King. They're about $20 a set. You get 5 or 6 of them. They all come with their own handles on them. And of course, these handles have little set screws in them where you can replace these. I've been looking for just the shafts for these for a while now. I don't seem to be able to have any luck finding them.
I hate taking this tail wheel out. It's such a pain in the rear to get back on. But I don't want any paint on it.
You let that drop all the way down in there, bouncer.
Yeah.
I think you got a floor in there. Don't you?
Yeah. Don't want oil going up inside the rudder.
You take all the fun out of it.
My $1,000 wheel that I called in to my machinist to make.
If I had a rotary table, we could have some real lightweight racing holes in it.
Yeah. Don't want to lose this screw. This is a special. I got one. I need to make a measurement in case I lose it and have to cut another one.
And that'll happen at a contest where you don't have one.
It'll happen in the grass.
And you don't have a Dremel tool or anything else handy, and you got 1.25 inch long T56 screw.
It'll happen in the grass. It's exactly 9/16. Actually,
That's what we need to get some. We need to get some 1/8 inch wheel collars. I don't have any. I think I gave you my last 2.
okay. All right, so looks like we're about ready to go. I'm going to end the program here and carry all this crap upstairs and set up for painting. I'll show you how I mix the paint. And so give us about a 15 or 20 minute break here to get it all moved upstairs into the garage. So part 2 to resume shortly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes. John just said, just fly. John said it. That's exactly correct. John said it before I could type it. Don't be cheap with tools. They will last a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
This is why every tool that I have at work is Snap-on. This is why my shirt is Snap-on. And my hat.
Well, just play. Your hand tools are one thing. You're working with them all the time. You know how to have good tools. It pays to have good tools. I've got a lot of what I call builder tools, craftsman stuff that is really a kit. You can make them perform, but you got to tweak with them a little bit. You got to work on them.
Get by.
They're not for the faint of heart, but they're for the home hobbyist and stuff like that that's not doing any kind of commercial work. They're probably more than adequate. You learn to live with their idiosyncrasies, but when it comes to stuff like set screws and wrenches and precision stuff like that, it pays to have good quality stuff.
Make sure the inside of your airplane is just as nice. Thanks to Jim Lynch, the bottom of my airplanes are just as nice now. I used to skimp on the bottom to save weight, but not anymore.
Got everything sanded?
Yeah, this might be an issue here. Of course, there's no dope on this. If I keep sanding, there won't be any paint on it whatsoever. And
I
got
just
a
meant
problem.
all your primered and puttied spots and make sure you got it. And then you'll get your little rust spot in that fill right there. One back here.
See, the more I sand this, the rougher it gets. So, because there's no paint on it.
You gotta watch out for that.
I just about rubbed all the paint off of it. So I don't want. I'll get some paint on it, and if I got to sand, I'll do it in the clear. Right here, you feel right here, right there.
Yeah.
But there's no paint there. I can sand and it just don't get any smoother.
Look over at the other side of it too while you're at it. And did you sand these after you primered them?
Oh yeah. Let me see them. Yeah, they've been sanded. I believe. Yeah, they've been sanded, see. Well, okay, we're gonna end the show. See you in about 15 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna go get some Voltsy burgers today.
Whatever those are.
Well, Voltsy's a character. We got to call ahead of time and order them ahead of time. They cook them to order.
I brought money with me, so we're good. Okay, buddy. We'll see you in a bit.
See you in a little bit.